Hello and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about something extremely exciting. We've got here the Varia Brewing Hand Grinder. Now this is going to be a little bit of everything. I plan to talk a lot, do a bit of an unboxing and see what we get inside the box, as well as grind up some beans and see how it can handle that. Alright, so let's get into it. First of all, we've got this beautiful hard case that the grinder comes in. Just unzipping the front, zips all around to the side, open it up, and we have the grinder. We also have the handle, the knob, the grinder itself, some instruction manuals, and the brush that it comes with. So I've just got this card to show you here. Got some instructions on how to align the burrs, the burr assembly, shows you all of the parts, the components and what they're called. It's fairly generic in the sense that a lot of these grinders do have some similar componentry where you've got the outer shell, you've got the something to drive it with. After all, we're dealing with similar products here. Hand grinders somewhat built the same. It's all about the fine-tuned details that really make the difference, as well as the materials used too. So yeah, on that note, let's remove the hand grinder just for a moment. Pop it here, and I'll also pop this brush away. Great. So this is the carry case. It fits these two perfectly. What I found really cool is that these actually fit in here. If you get it nice and snug, it fits really easily in here. And this can just tuck away in here. So what that means is when you are going away for a trip or whatever, you want to take your hand grinder with you, this carry case doubles as something that you can bring all of your gear in. I'm not sure whether it fits an AeroPress or not, but if you have some filters, a little, maybe the pocket scales, or even some larger scales could probably fit in here too. So yeah, it's a really well thought out, designed case. This isn't designed for carrying your grinder, but I just wanted to mention that it does fit the grinder quite nicely. This is the grinder. First of all, it looks beautiful. It has this beautiful matte finish to it. It has a really nice, sturdy, solid design as well. Everything feels well made about this grinder. One thing that I did pick up on is that the knob here is actually the exact same size as the Comandante knob, the inside. So what I mean by that is when it pops off, just like that, you can actually put a Comandante knob on here, and you can also put this knob on the Comandante grinder, if that makes sense. Not sure if you'd want to do that. Yeah, just thought I'd add that there and put that in, that the dimensions of this crank are the exact same as the Comandante. Awesome. So this just clips back on. The knob actually has a little metal mechanism, just like the one, the Comandante knob. So yeah. This just clips back on and you're good to go. Now, as far as the rest of the grinder, the wooden knob is a great accent. I feel like it does this grinder a real solid because it just looks so great and it complements everything else about this grinder. It's a premium feeling and looking product. We have this lid and the crank, which are attached. I don't believe they come apart, which is fine. But yeah, it just has a little hexagonal shape there, and that just fits onto the drive shaft or the axle, and it fits really nice and flush. It kind of just sits on top. There's no magnet from what I can tell, but it does sit fairly securely. We've got the main body. We also have this nice kind of corrugated collar, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. And then we have this grinds attachment. So your dried beans go in here, grinds through, and then it ends up in the grinds attachment just down at the bottom. So this is really cool. It's got a wide screw, and what that means is it does not take a lot to close and to open. If anything, that's a quarter turn. So yeah, that is a small little detail that I actually really like. It felt funny at first, but then I did it a couple of times and it just feels really good. It's almost like I overcompensate when I go to screw on, and that just kind of tightens everything, if that makes sense. Cool. I'm going to leave it off for the moment and I'll show you the underside. Cool. So we've got some grind adjustment. We've got the little clicker and the knob. We've got the little clicker. We've got some text just at the base of the actual body of the grinder, and that indicates which side is, which direction coarse and finer is. To adjust how coarse and how fine you go, you'll need to attach the lid and the crank. And what you're going to do is you're actually going to go and click it like so. So yeah, you want to look at the bottom here, and it says coarser is one direction and finer is the other. So to know where you are at the moment, the best way to do it is to go finer all the way until you can't go any more finer, and that will be your 0 point, just like that. So this arm, the burrs are now currently touching each other, and they won't go any further. So that locks this all into place, and that's your 0 point. From here, so any more clicks you go coarse will be 1 click, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Another really cool feature about this grinder is the clicks on this are very small compared to the Comandante, and also compared to the Timor C2 grinder. The Timor C2, it has similar, if not the exact same burr set in this grinder, but it does have some more plastic componentry, and it also has less grinds adjustment. And I'll show you what I mean a little bit later on. So yeah, let's take it apart first. I want to show you some more of the inside and how this mechanism works, and then we'll grind through some coffee, and yeah, let's go from there. So to open this grinder up for whether it's cleaning, and we do have a video on that, I'll have that linked. What you need to do is you actually need to go all the way coarse, because this is screwed on to the drive axle. The top is just shown here, and what that does is that unlocks the burr set. So I'll show you how that's done. We'll go all the way coarse. Cool. So now this little clicker with the 2 bearings just pops off, and you can see all of the little dots. They, when it clicks, they actually indicate at what grind size you're on, and that holds this little adjustment piece in place. And compared to the C2, this has a lot more little positions that the grinder can sit in and grind at than the C2. So that just gives you a little bit more room to play around with when you're dialing in your coffee, especially if you're going to go finer. Cool, so now I'm just going to pop this little plate off, and this will just allow us to gain access to the inner burr and the spring that's come out as well. So yeah, as you can see, I'll have a side-by-side picture of the inner burr for this grinder and the Timor C2. Now we have the spring, which has just popped out, followed by the little washer. Now the washer does have 2 sides to it. It has a flat side and it has a little raised edge side. The raised edge touches the bearings, and I'll show you a little bit later on. At this stage, you can either try to maybe take the axle out, and then that will loosen up the bearing, and that bearing is just falling off that center axle. You can undo this mechanism. So this is fastened on in the opposite way that you're used to screwing. So normally you'd think to go this way, it actually goes that way. That is a key design feature. And what that means is that when you're grinding, like so, in this direction, you will not undo this adjustment. This actually goes tighter. So let's just unscrew this little knob. This piece also gives a lot of, how do I say it? A lot of grip when you're grinding. Just having this little collar really means a world of difference because this surface, it's not slippery, it's just not extra grippy. Cool. So we've got access to the outer burrs now. This makes cleaning this grinder an absolute pleasure. There's no bending, breaking, bristles, none of that. It's all just comes out, and as you can see, you're not left with a lot. And we can even take this out further just by pushing this drive shaft axle all the way out. And yeah, you've got a bearing, a washer that fall into place here. Pop that to the side. Check this out, guys. All one piece aluminium with a nice black coating on it. This piece is super easy to clean. It is an absolute pleasure cleaning this grinder. Everything comes out, it deconstructs fully, and it shows you every little piece. The bearings sit in here, and there's no wiggle room for error. It's probably one of my favorite designs out there, just because it's so simple. It's so easy. There's no little corners or nicks for grinds to kind of sit around in. It's really cool design. I'm going to reassemble this right now, and I'll come back when that's done. And guys, that's done. Super easy to do. If you want to see that in a little bit more detail and how I clean this grinder, check out the video we've done. It goes through all of the components in this grinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grind at the same clicks as the Comandante. So the Comandante I did at 25 clicks, and I took a photo of that, and we're going to just compare that with this grinder. So first of all, I'm going to find my 0 point just by going all the way fine. That's locked into place. I can feel it's not giving any way. Now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Cool. So that's 25 clicks. I'm going to pop that in. And as you can see, 20 grams with some room to spare. I'm going to pop this cap on, and yeah, let's go grinding. Fantastic, and that's all done. So that just came around under 1 minute. Let's take a look at what we've got. Awesome. And I'll have a photo up of the two so you can see the difference. Okay, fantastic. So 20 grams in under a minute. This grinds super fast, and that was at a fairly fine grind size too. It wasn't too coarse, so yeah, that was probably on the finer side for pour over. Super happy with this grinder. I think it addresses a lot of the concerns with the Timemore C2. This is not a comparison between the two grinders, but it does have a good place in the market. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. If you have any questions at all, drop a comment down below. This is the Varia Brewing Hand Grinder. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Yeah, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And if you're interested in purchasing this grinder or checking out any of our other products, we'll have our website linked down below. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.